over. Unfortunately for us, Bird Gang, it was, a crazy ride. We started off really well this season, but things started to derail. We got our shit together and we started balling out. And I had a lot of hope. I had a lot of hope for this game. They have a lot of guys that are injured. Speaking of the Bucs, they have a lot of guys who are hurt, playing hurt. But it wasn't enough today. The Eagles didn't have the right game plan to come through and get a win versus the GOAT. It just wasn't enough today. But I'm Bry Wolf. Thank you for joining me for a post-game live show of Eagles Real Talk. I really appreciate all you guys all year who have been rocking with me. This is the first year of many. So I like to thank you guys right now, all the subscribers, all the people who tapped in and watched the video this year from Eagles Real Talk. I appreciate you. Salute. But let's talk about the game. All right, so we started off, let's just say, soft. We started off with this soft defense. It was something that Jonathan Gannon was doing a lot at the beginning of the season. He definitely does it a lot against better quarterbacks, I'll say. Not bum quarterbacks, but, better quarterbacks. Bum quarterbacks, he comes in with the game plan. He's obviously more confident as a play caller when he's going up and knows he's going up against a quarterback with less talent. So it was on full display today. Unfortunately, the Birds weren't able to bounce back. We went down a lot early this year and were at least able to fight at the end and make it a game, but not today. I thought after the first quarter, he was going to have Slay shadowing Mike Evans, and we were going to lock up after that first quarter. I thought, he's learned from his mistakes. He's going to get it together, and we're going to get it going on defense the second quarter. Didn't happen. He had Darius Slay, who's not arguably in my opinion, but around the league, everybody has their biases and their opinions, but Darius Slay has been the best cornerback pound for pound this entire season. And, unfortunately, he had him playing 10 to 15 yards back on defense. I'm not really sure why he completely shifted his game plan from the past, 3 to 4 weeks that were, smash mouth, get up in people's faces, just tough football on defense. He got completely away from that, and we came up with a soft game plan against the GOAT, all right? Listen, Tom Brady, I don't even know how old he is anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's like 43, 44 years old. Regardless, he's seen everything. He's seen every single defense more than coaches have seen. He's been in film rooms for 20 plus years in the NFL. So for us to go in with this soft approach, the soft defensive approach of having our guys playing, yards back, and then just letting them pick us apart, I don't know what Jonathan Gannon is thinking. But with that said, I've seen enough from Jonathan Gannon. He can get a head coaching job tonight, for all I care. Actually, I would be ecstatic if he got a head coaching job or any other job other than the Eagles, because I've seen enough. He went 8 to 10 weeks doing this, and then he's going to get all the way to the playoffs after, proving that, he can coach a little bit. He does know a little bit. And then he gets all the way to the playoffs and just wets the bed, man. Actually, he shit the bed today, because honestly, this was a game where it was tailor-made for the Eagles to dominate on defense, and I don't care what anybody says. They were without Antonio Brown, who killed us the first time we played them. He had 80, 90 yards on us, 9 catches. You know what I'm saying? O.J. Howard, he killed us the first time around too. And I knew we were going to contain him this week because our linebackers have came a long way. But regardless, man, the DC, Jonathan Gannon, he must go. I can't continue to watch this for another season. Unfortunately, we We came out with the soft approach, and that was something that us Eagles fans were fearful of. I seen it in the comments all week. The people were honestly concerned with this man's approach for his defensive schemes or lack thereof. And unfortunately, it came to fruition today. And Jonathan Gannon, in my opinion, if we have to give someone the biggest L today, I think it's him. Now let's just go into Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, I think he's got a promising career ahead of him. I'm not gonna completely condemn him for this game, but there were some decisions that were made either during this week and on game day that were shaky at best. Okay, so for one, he had Jalen Reagor out there getting punts and kicks again. I mean, didn't he see enough? Didn't he see what Jason Huntley did last week or the week prior with the Dallas Cowboys? He was actually a burst of energy for the special teams. Jason Huntley has he has a little extra gear, and that's obviously something that Jalen Reagor doesn't have. He can't catch the football when it's thrown to him by a quarterback. He can't catch the football when it's kicked to him. The guy just has some mental lapses. He's not all the way there to play this game of football. I'm not an NFL coach. I didn't play in the NFL. But I watched the game very closely, and you can tell when someone doesn't have it. You can tell when someone just ain't got the juice. He ain't got this. He ain't got no juice. Excuse me. He ain't got no juice, and it's frustrating as a fan when we're thinking, oh, he activated Jason Huntley. Maybe something is kicking in where he knows that now Jalen Reagor shouldn't be the guy back there, especially in the biggest game of the season. Lo and behold, he muffs a damn kick when we needed the momentum the most. I believe if he didn't muff that kick, we would have went down there and scored a touchdown and at least would have made the game interesting. I think that muff kick completely slaughtered our momentum. Not killed it, slaughtered. So Nick Sirianni, like I said, let me go back to Nick Sirianni. I'm going to touch on Reagor a lot this offseason, but hopefully not too much because hopefully we get rid of this guy. Please, Howie, listen, man. If this somehow gets to you, can you please trade this guy for anybody, for a 7th round pick, anything? We will take anything for him because it has the possibility to be something at least solid. He's the opposite of solid. I don't even think he had 400 yards this year. Darius Slay, a defender on our team, had more touchdowns. How? Is because Howie, the coaches, obviously they think of Reagor and they have, a lot of high praise for him and as his potential and everything. But the fact of the matter is he can't put it all together. He can't do it. There's something, like I said earlier, there's a mental lapse in his approach to the game that he's never going to be it. We could have had Tom Brady throwing him the ball today. We could have had Joe Montana. We could have had Drew Brees in his prime. Nobody can make Jalen Reagor a good player. And if the franchise, everybody who makes those decisions for this team, if they can't get that together this offseason and somehow find a way to get rid of this guy, cut him, I know it'll be like $3 or $4 million we'll have to eat, but who cares? He's killing us. Wouldn't you rather have, a little bit less money to spend than this guy taking up a roster spot at this point? He's got to go. Sorry, I'm going on a Reagor tangent, and I apologize, but it's that frustrating. So back to Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is a good coach. He's a good rah-rah guy. He's proven that at halftime he can make adjustments. He proved that halfway through the season he seen that the flaws on our team, and he made the right adjustments. He turned us into a running winning team. But today he overthought it, which he tends to do. Sometimes he gets too excited. You can even hear it in his press conferences, and it's okay. He's a rookie head coach. He should be super excited to call plays and to be a part of, a franchise like the Philadelphia Eagles. But at the end of the day, he's got to somehow find a way to get, some self-evaluation this offseason to know that he is an overthinker at times. He overthinks the game plan and he overthinks personnel sometimes. And he's got to calm himself down just like Jalen Hurts on the field. Those two they kind of remind me of each other. They have very similarities. Jalen Hurts, sometimes he gets too ahead of himself, just like on that play today where Quez Watkins was breaking open, wide open, and instead of waiting 1/10 of a second, because football's like that. So if he would have waited just a little bit longer, he would have hit Quez for a touchdown, a potential touchdown, and that would have kept a drive going. But instead, he gets going and he scrambles and he gets out of the pocket. He abandoned what he had working for him, which is taking the time in the pocket, evaluating the field. But today he got happy feet. He was a penguin today. He had happy feet. He didn't stick in the pocket like, he's been coached to do, and he made mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes today, costly mistakes. That interception when we had something going and he's seen Devontae Smith wide open after the defender slips and he tries to sling it in there, but he doesn't have that arm strength for that. So to substitute for the lack of arm strength, which is not terrible. I'm not saying he's weak or anything like that, but he ain't got that super arm strength. That's just something we know. Okay, so instead of recognizing it quicker, which is something he has to do to make up for his flaws, to make up for that lack of arm strength, he was a little too late, and it's an interception. And it could have been 4-6. And I'm talking about Devontae, Slim 6, the Slim Reaper himself, which I'm going to get into as well. He wasn't even targeted barely the first half. He wasn't targeted until it was too late. And then guess what happens when he's targeted? He catches the damn football. That should have been the game plan for Nick Sirianni going into this game. Okay, let's see if we can run on these guys. Even though they have a strong defensive line and linebacking core, let's see if we can run on these guys. Let's see if we can go in there and run on them. We couldn't run on them, okay? At the beginning of the game. They made it a point of emphasis to shut down our run game. Would you agree? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to get to you guys in the comments in a second, by the way. I see you guys are in there. I appreciate you guys. Salute. And if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Get down with ERT. A lot more lives, by the way. I know I didn't go live enough this season. I posted 100-something videos. It was a long football season. I learned a lot, and I'm letting you guys know we'll have a lot more live shows and a lot more interaction going forward. But back to the game. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, they just weren't on the same page this year. It's not this year. Well, at times this year, but this game. And unfortunately, Jalen made too many costly mistakes that first half. But let's get into the defense. Let's talk about the defense. So the defense, I thought, played solid. Obviously, they were up against the 8 ball because the defensive coordinator put them in a bad position, to start the game. But they still held their own, and we held them to 17 points the first half. And that's after, Jalen and the offense are giving the ball back. I think the time of possession was like under 6 minutes, the first half at a certain point. And they had the ball for 15, 16 minutes. So the discrepancy there is obviously not even close, So when your defense is up against it, they're not being coached well. I think they did solid against the GOAT, man. I think they did pretty good. Like I said, Jalen Reagor muffed a kick that gave him the ball back very fast. So there was turnovers by Jalen Hurts. Both Jalen's didn't come to play today, by the way. At times Jalen was showing something and then he would do an overthrow. But regardless, the defense came to play, I thought. And, I'm not going to condemn them for this game. I think if they were coached better and they had a better game plan, they would have showed you even more. But we sacked Tom Brady quite a few times. Let's check out the box score. I want to see exactly how many sacks we had today. So Alex Singleton had a sack. Derek Barnett had a half a sack. Ryan Kerrigan, who was a ghost and appeared out of nowhere this game, had 1.5 sacks. I don't know where that came. We really could have used that this year. He stepped up in Josh Sweat's absence. Man, Josh Sweat, that was a tough news to hear as well, knowing that he had a life-threatening abdominal, issue going on. That's kind of scary, and to think he really was trying to play after having, surgery like that. That just made me respect Josh Sweat anymore, and I can't wait to see him next year. Sucks we didn't get to have him. But fact of the matter is, we got to Brady a few times when we had a total of 4 sacks. We got some pressure on him. He threw a couple bad throws to start the game, but we didn't capitalize on any interceptions, and that's okay. But the fact of the matter is the defense played solid. They gave up 31 points. Listen, when you play Tom Brady in the playoffs and you give up 31 points, especially how bad our offense was and giving them the ball back so damn quick, to hold them to 31 points, that's not that bad. Am I right? Let me know in the comments. 31 points isn't too bad, and unfortunately, our offense could only put up 15. We had a donut until the fourth quarter. I was scared, we were going to look back on this game and be like, wow, we really put up a donut against Brady. That would have been a terrible taste in all of our mouths. So at least we did put up some points to save the true embarrassment. But regardless, I thought the defense came to play. And I thought, they did enough to win. The offense just completely let us down. So let's get to the comments, man. Let's see what y'all talking about. Okay, so Marky Dan 123, you think Calvin Ridley's still coming to Philly? Yes, I do. And after this game, it was more clear that we need to add a tough-nosed, hard, sharp route runner like Calvin Ridley. He's available. Listen, guys, we have 3 first-round picks, okay? Don't we all want a wide receiver? Don't we all want a guy who will just come in and be Devontae's, Robin, just go out there? I'm not even going to say Robin, because if Calvin Ridley comes, he's not a Robin. Let's get that straight. They would be more like Captain America and an Iron Man, okay? And we would form the Avengers low-key if we got Calvin Ridley. That's how I feel. And yes, I do think we're going to get Calvin Ridley. And if we do, that'll completely change this offense next year. You will have 2 guys out there running crispy routes, with the hands of, all you can ask for in a wide receiver. So I think Howie really should give up one of those first picks if it's really necessary, because you have to think about it. Okay, we're drafting 3 guys in the first round, right? We all want, some young talent on the team. That we all want that. But at the end of the day, those 3 picks, they're not sure things. They're not like, oh, Howie's going to get it right. Howie's 100% in the first round. You've seen what Rager did today. And I'm not even condemning Howie, because if you look at our roster, we have quite a few guys who are top echelon players who were drafted by Howie. So we can't just completely, clown Howie for the Rager pick. Obviously, Jalen Rager's the worst Eagles player of my generation, so obviously that pick is terrible, but we can't completely condemn this man, for the roster. He's done some good and he's done some bad. That's just how it goes as a GM. That's just how it's going to go. But if you can use one out of 3 picks, that is a super luxury to have. 3 first-round picks, I can't remember the last time that happened. So if you can give up one of those for a proven all-pro route runner in Calvin Ridley, wouldn't you do that in a heartbeat? People look too much into picks and think, oh my gosh, this pick, and they get so excited with prospects, and they're like, oh, but we can use it on this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Well, guess what? Those guys aren't proven NFL players yet. So I want to use one out of the three first round picks if it comes to that on Calvin Ridley, who I think is a straight baller, who is literally shackled over there with Matt Ryan throwing him the ball in Atlanta in a trash offense. You know what I mean? So what could he do in this offense and this run game? And Jalen Hurts, when he's on point, and guess what? That'll also make Jalen Hurts' job a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to miss guys when they're that wide open that Calvin Ridley can create separation. So with that said, yes, I hope we get Calvin Ridley. I'm praying for it. I will use one of the 3 picks, a second-round pick. Ideally, I mean, perfect scenario for us Eagles fans, obviously a second-round pick in Rager. Send him to Atlanta to rot over there because we don't want him. We don't want you, Rager, at all. So let's get back to the questions. Do you think the Eagles are going to make it to the playoffs next year? Divia asked that question. Thank you for the question. And yes, I truly believe we are 1 year away from getting over our lumps that we had to take this year, and now the lump of them all in the playoffs against Brady. This is, things take time, y'all. Things take time, and I want you guys to remember that this offseason, and I'm going to be that one guy on the Eagles YouTube universe that is going to tell you that it takes time for great things. Things just aren't, don't happen in 1 season, 2 seasons. They sometimes need work, but next year, with the tools that we already have on the roster and the additional tools that we can add to this roster in the draft and through free agency, people forget we got a lot of bread to spend this year. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of bread. So we can come through with a bag to offer some guys, to fill in some key positions, or we can spread that money around to really good players and, really fill our roster and then go in the draft and at least capitalize on 4 to 5 picks and throw them in this roster. I really do believe we're a playoff team next year. And that's just me being very crystal clear. We will make the playoffs next year, and I have us winning the division next year as well. I know that we're going to retool, and we're going to make things happen this offseason. So, yes. So, let's get to the other question. Why didn't the Eagles let Jordan Howard run? What the F? Thank you, Jack Frost, for the question. And, man, I don't know. I don't know. Nick Sirianni talked this week. We got horses in the stable. We got a whole, roster of guys who can come in there and run the ball and be effective and blah, blah, blah. And then, like I said, he overthought the game plan. He overthought whatever he was thinking and just used Miles Sanders. Until the very end. Obviously, Kenny Gainwell got some burn, and Jordan Howard got a few times to run the ball. But besides that, it was the Jalen Hurts running the ball show and the Miles Sanders show. And those two guys weren't that great today. I think they were solid in the run game, but they obviously weren't, the most effective. So I thought that, he was going to go to Jordan Howard a little bit more, especially on the short yardage runs. Like there was a couple 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, where I'm like, man, just give Jordan Howard the ball. Let this offensive line do their thing. We got the best offensive line in the game. Got Jason Kelce up there pushing the ball, pushing the big crowd up there forward always. We got Mailata, Lane Johnson, even though Lane Johnson went out with the injury. We had the hogs up there to move that line, and we didn't even try. We didn't even try to play the power run game. We just said, these guys got they got Shaq Barrett back, and we got this guy back, and they got that back. Maybe we shouldn't pound the ball, And they didn't even try to run it and run that power game like I thought we were, and like a lot of us, requested. So that was unfortunate, and it was, pretty frustrating because, like I said, Miles Sanders did solid, but at the end of the day, we still needed that bruiser. We needed a guy to go in there and get those tough yardage. So I didn't understand why he didn't use all of our running backs. Okay, so let's get to more questions. I think the refs called a lot of BS calls, and Rager needs to be off special teams. He killed us with that fumble. I hope the Eagles get Jameson Williams or John Mechie. Those guys don't sound bad. They don't sound bad, and I'm not opposed. Obviously, I'm high on the Calvin Ridley trade, and I would like us to get a solid veteran who's proven. But I'm not against us drafting a young stud in the first round. I'm definitely not opposed to that, and that, I mean, it sounds good. And obviously, yes, the refs. Let's just be honest, man. We knew this was gonna happen. We knew going into the game Derek Barnett was going to get at least one penalty. At least I did. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I knew in my mind he was. This is just a tailor-made game for him to make one bonehead play. And it's on a big stage. The refs know that he's one of the dirtiest players in the league. They were just waiting for him to do one little thing to Tom. Just touch him just a little bit too hard, and they were going to call a penalty. So unfortunately, yeah, I was already going into this game knowing that the refs weren't going to be on our side. They weren't about to be like, oh yeah, Eagles, congrats on making it to the playoffs. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt on some of these calls. Hell no. You even seen all-pro, future Hall of Famer, Kelsey, get a bogus hold call. So, at that point, we should have threw all of the, wishful thinking as far as the refs completely out the window, because it just wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, unfortunately, I did think the refs were bad, but I was anticipating that. And yes, he killed us on that fumble. So, like I said, it was a frustrating game for us, but there's still some things to take away. There's still some things to look at and be like, okay, we can evaluate this. We can use this game right here to evaluate our roster, because I think it's pretty clear who needs to stay and who needs to go. Okay, so with that said, I think we're going to draft a running back as well. I think we're going to let, even though I like him a lot, Jordan Howard, he's been, he's a bruising back. So through his career, he's taken a lot of bad hits. He's taken a lot of, damage. So I don't see us signing him, re-signing him, maybe bring him back on a cheap contract. I'm not sure, but he definitely won't be the number 2 behind Miles next year. We're definitely going to get somebody who would be perfect. If we can find somebody like the Denver Broncos got Javonte Williams, if we can get a back like that to pair with Miles Sanders, then maybe we'll have something really, to look forward to for the next 4 or 5 years. But right now, the running back room is good, but it's not built for the future, in my opinion. It's not 100% built for the future. We still need to add some pieces and, subtract some guys as well. With that said, like I said, I love Jordan Howard. He's one of my favorite Eagles to watch. I love, a power back like that who just, get the ball and just go north and south. But it is what it is. He's an aging back with a lot of miles on him. So, So let's get back to the chat. Looks like a lot of guys are definitely wanting some wide receivers to pair with Smith. Obviously, it definitely was it was an issue today on those third downs when they know on third down we're going to be looking for Dallas Goedert. I mean, the man was targeted 11, 12 times today, and I don't think he even caught half of his passes. So obviously they were well prepared for that, for Jalen to be looking at Dallas Goedert on those downs. So we need another guy who can go in there and be a possession receiver. So I know some guys like Mike Williams. I know that's a guy who goes up and gets a lot of 50-50 balls. He's a tough guy, bigger receiver. He's similar to Jordan Howard in a way. Yeah, he's not super old or anything. I think he's 26, he'll be 27 next year or something like that. So he's not like super old, but he's got a lot of miles. He's got a lot of little nagging injuries all the time, So I don't want a wide receiver like that. I don't want a guy who, who's already been, up against it when it comes to injuries in his career. So no, I'm not super high on Mike Williams, but if, we bring him in, obviously I'll like him. But you know what? Quez Watkins, he's got some freaking burners, man. Let's talk about Quez today. Quez could have had 2 touchdowns, okay? Maybe 3. Unfortunately, Jalen tends to overthrow his receivers when he's not having a great game to start. You pretty much know Jalen's going to be throwing, some sails over these guys' heads. He's going to sail it over their heads. That's one thing he has to clean up by next year. It has to, because these big plays that could have been had against, a cornerback crew like they had today, they were missing, Bunting. They were missing, their top guy. So the fact that we couldn't take advantage, and when Quez is, in front of these dudes by 4 or 5 yards, he had separation. He could have really been a big factor this game. And what did we need the most this game once we went down? What did we need most? We needed quick plays. We need quick scoring plays. That's how you get back in the game. When you go down the field on 50, 60 yards for a touchdown in one play, that's how you get back in the game. You look, oh, damn, we scored a touchdown, and now we got all this time left. We can come back. But today, Jalen missed on those. And he also turned over the ball when we needed it. So, like I said, I'm going to go through my grades of all these players in a few minutes, and on the defense and the offense, I'm going to give them grades. But obviously, it wasn't Jalen's, finest hours as a Eagles quarterback. So let's get into the grades right now. Let's get straight into the grades. We've been going for 30 minutes. Let's get straight into the grades. So Nick Sirianni, I'm going to give him the first grade. I'm going to give him a C-, man. He obviously he talked about, this past week, we knew we were going to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so we started prepping for them, before the Cowboys game. He talked all year, take one game at a time. He talked all year, it's week to week. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. So he went against his own philosophy, got too far ahead of himself, had his coaches thinking too much ahead to future opponents. And maybe was it the right thing to do to look ahead to a possible opponent? Yeah, it could have been, but not for a young coaching staff like we got. We have to stay focused week to week. You can't, preach and say in all of your press conferences every single week that, we're not looking too far ahead. We're not even thinking about the playoffs. We have to win this week, and then the next we have to. But then you literally tell your coaching staff and basically your team that, hey, actually we are looking ahead. We're so happy we're in the playoffs now. This final game against the Cowboys doesn't matter. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that was a mistake. I think it was a mistake that we didn't play our starters. And were we healthy going into this game? Yeah, we were. But look at them. They weren't. And they're more experienced. They're the reigning Super Bowl champs. They're supposed to be able to get through that. But the Eagles got too far ahead of themselves. And, the chickens came to roost today. We got blown out. Let's be honest. Maybe if we would have went into that week against Dallas, played our starters, kept that momentum, that real momentum. I didn't think it too much broke any momentum we had because the starters, they know they're on the sidelines. They know what the deal is. They know all the backups are in there. We're probably going to get scraped, which we did by the Cowboys, which I wasn't happy about, but I wasn't tripping, because I'm like, okay, the guys are healthy, I'll live with this. But it doesn't mean I have to, be happy with the decision. And now looking back on it, I think it was the wrong decision. Let me know in the comments. Do you think after, looking at how we came to play today, would you agree that not playing the Cowboys when we're on a 4-game win streak and we can end with a finale at home and a win against our rivals who kicked our ass week 3, do you think it was the right or wrong decision to sit our starters going into that game? Let me know in the comments. But I truly think it was the wrong decision now. Hindsight's 20/20 and everything, but you know what? The proof is in the pudding, the score. We got our butts kicked today, man. And maybe if we would have been riding that 5-game momentum, because you know what? Sometimes those matter. Sometimes in the psyche of us as human beings, a lot is going on in our head. And knowing that, man, you just came through and you beat the Dallas Cowboys and you're riding a 5-game win streak and you're going up against Tom, that pokes out your chest a little bit. But instead, all week, the narrative was all the coaches, the players have to, answer the questions. Was sitting out our starters, was that a good decision? Do you think that was and some guys were like, yeah, but they wanted to play. They wanted to get out there and ride that momentum. Devontae Smith said it best. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to ride that momentum, and I'm glad he got to play because he was still game ready. He was ready to play today, but we just didn't target him. So some of these guys, I feel like we're ready and did get through the fact that they had a rest week where they had a watch on the sidelines while we got scraped by the Cowboys. Some of those guys could look past that and get ready, but some maybe weren't. Some maybe were a little, psychologically affected by that game. So let's see what you guys think. Okay, so Sexton 999, I agree we should have played our starters against the Cowboys. I mean, I agree with you, my man. I truly agree with you, and like I said earlier, especially looking after we came, you know what? You have to think about it like this. This actually, it's 100%. It's 100% we should have played our starters because guess what kind of team we are? We're a slow starting team. So we already had a bye week 14, right? Everyone else had a bye week, and we had a late bye week, which benefited us because we had a late season run. So getting that bye week was good for us. So why do you think we need to rest our guys one more time when we're a slow starting team? Don't you think, logically the next game, we're already a slow starting team. We probably won't start fast if we rest our guys this week. You know what I'm saying? Football is like I said, it's a very fast game. It's just boom, 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 boom. And, we should have came out with that boom, boom mentality. But we came back, let's just go out there, guys, and let's run these plays and let's get that didn't cut it. And, unfortunately, he's a rookie head coach. He said he looked at data and he talked to other coaches and, he got, advice and he came up with the best decision for him and his team. But hindsight's 2020, it was the wrong decision. Let's see what else people have to say. I think this would have happened regardless. Marky Dan 123. It could have been. It could have been. It's obviously we're dealing with the unknown. But in my opinion, Marky, I think that sitting our guys definitely had an effect on the game, especially when, let's be honest, we had to start fast against this team. If we came out like this, we knew it was going to be a tough road ahead, a long, steep road ahead. So, unfortunately, I think it was the wrong decision. But I respect your opinion, Marky. Really would have mattered. But it would have made a difference. It wouldn't have mattered, but it would have made a difference. We played. We'll see. I'm not. I guess we'll see if we learn from our mistakes this year. I guess we'll see next year if Nick Sirianni, if we're in the same type of position and we don't rest our guys the last game. I bet you he doesn't. I bet you he does the opposite. Because he's gonna remember this year the sting from this loss. He's gonna remember that, and he'll probably play his guys next year, at least to experiment with his philosophy. Let's see what else. Connor, what's up, my guy? Why rest starters? Get them ready. They weren't ready. I think those are facts, man. I think those are all real talk facts. I think we weren't ready. We came into this game, like I said, with a soft approach, with a let's do our best type of thing, and that didn't work. That didn't work for us. That wasn't what got us here. What got us here was starting to get aggressive. What got us here was being that team that's going to punch people in the mouth first. In this game, we got punched in the mouth. And guess what? Last game, we got punched in the mouth. Actually, we got knocked out. We got knocked out cold last week to Dallas. And to think that we're going to come in, it was denial, y'all. It was denial. Let's be honest. We were denying the fact that we played like shit last week and we were going to be able to bounce back this year and bounce back this week in the playoffs in the biggest game. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Can we talk about Sippos? I don't think people are talking about that guy enough. He shanked a few last week against Dallas, and I was like, what is he on? You know what I mean? Is his foot sore? Is it cold outside and the ball's too hard or coming off his, like, what's going on with this guy? He had a boot all year. I thought he was, a pretty solid punter this year. And then he shanked it a couple last week, which I was concerned. And then special teams coach, he comes out and says, it was just one game and, he's done this, he's done that. Okay, yeah, it was one game, but it was the last game of the season going into the playoffs. And it didn't seem like that coach was on his ass like he should have been this week because he came out and shanked one for 20 something yards. And then his next punt, which we kept on punting, was a damn 36-yard punt. Weak. So that put us behind right there. That's giving Brady. Brady looked at that like, are y'all serious? Y'all really gonna give me the ball at the 50-yard 50-yard line and think y'all about to stop me? He was laughing in his mind, knowing that our punter was, shanking those punts. So you know what? I'm done with Sipos. I'm done with that fool. He can be cut right now. He doesn't deserve to wear that number 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, get him off the team. Get a new punter in there. He let us down in the biggest game of the year. Period. Nah. Punters are a dime a dozen. We can find another one who's not nervous out there or whatever he's going through. I don't have time for that next year. We got to get rid of that bum. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. People don't talk about the kicking emphasis of football enough. The game is called football, all right? And if you got a shitty kicker kicking field goals, what is he going to do? He's going to cost you some wins. We've seen that with the Dallas Cowboys this year. They had a few losses where they lost by 2 points or whatever, and if Zerline or whatever his name was would have made that field goal, they probably would have won. So let's be honest. The kicking game this year, besides Jake Elliott, who was on point. He was on point this year. He was money, 90.1%. I predicted he was going to be at 88% or higher this year, and he came through for us. But the punt game, it can't be one and the other. It has to be both. Your special teams, they're not the sexy topic to talk about, but let's be honest, it can cost you games. Look at today. Look at Rager. He wasn't ready to go. The coaching staff, the special teams coordinator, I don't care what you said. They don't have him ready to be that guy back there. And they knew that all year, and they still sent him out there when we had Jason Huntley. We had Jason Huntley available to us, and we didn't play him. Also, Andre Sacheret, why didn't he play today? Why was he inactive? He's been an ace for us on special teams all season. We got him from the Colts, and he's been an ace on special teams, and he wasn't out there. What decision? Whose decision was that? These are small, little, minute decisions that in regular season games, you can be like, oh, yeah, we should have played him. But in big moments, in the big time, big boy games, like today was, the special teams cost us dearly. They killed us this game. So let me know in the comments if that caught your eye today and the special teams needs to be addressed. Let me know in the comments. Let me get back to the chat. Appreciate y'all getting down in the chat with me. Like I said, this is one of my first lives post-game, so we'll be doing this a lot, especially next year. So, Connor, going crazy in the group chat. Respect you, my guy. Yeah, he didn't target Smith at all in the first half, which is very concerning. Very concerning, Sexton. Very, very concerning. I don't know what was going on. Nick Sirianni, as soon, like the first couple drives when he didn't even receive a target, I don't even think Dallas Goedert received a target either. Like, they had one target between them for a while, for a long stretch. Nick Sirianni should have been like, hey, come here, Hurts. Did you forget our best players out there? Why aren't you targeting our main guys? Or was that not even a point of emphasis this week? I don't know what to believe. And they just looked lost on that, especially that first possession, the first two possessions. They just looked like they didn't have their identity. They looked like they didn't belong out there. They looked like they got out there and remembered, oh my gosh, we're playing against the Super Bowl champs. These aren't the Lions, you know what I'm saying? These aren't Washington, you know what I mean? And they kind of folded. So it is what it is, But he definitely didn't get targeted enough, and I'm not really sure why that wasn't, a very high point of emphasis. We've been in Brady's head since the Super Bowl. I thought we'd stay in there, but today he was in everyone else's. Tom S. Elliott is always on point. Yes, he is. So I'm gonna address that. Okay, so I thought we were in his head as well. I thought we had, an edge on Brady. Then just mentally here. I'm not saying we had him cerebrally, far ahead. Nah. He's way head and shoulders above everyone else. But there was a little bit of a mental aspect that, hey, he's lost to us in the Super Bowl. And that could have been fueling him. So we could have took advantage of, he maybe's too far into the matchup. Maybe we just need to apply the pressure. And we couldn't even get to him that first half. And he didn't come out guns blazing. Let's be honest. He was missing a few receivers. He was playing with guys and throwing to guys that he normally doesn't throw to. So he was a little off, and we didn't capitalize on that. I know there was that penalty, that bogus penalty on Barnett, but regardless, we didn't come out with the full, full game plan to get turnovers and to get to him. That's the only way we were gonna win. We had to at least get one interception out there to change momentum, flip fields. We didn't get one turnover, so that definitely played a big part in the game. You have to at least pick him off at least one time, and we didn't apply that pressure today. Boston Scott needs more carries. Connor, I believe in this game, he should have got more carries. Like I said, I thought we were going to, have Miles out there for a couple downs. And then you would see, big number 24 getting ready to brew some dudes up. And then Miles comes back in. And then we shake things up with Boston Scott. And then, put Kenny Gainwell and throw it to him in the passing game. Throw a few screens. We didn't do that. We came in there like, oh no, we're just gonna hand the ball off, do this little RPO stuff, and see if it'll get us some first downs and move the ball. And nah, I thought we had a stable of running backs, Nick. I thought we had these guys in here that you could utilize. All these guys that you could utilize. Too little, too late in the fourth quarter. Should have mixed it up sooner. So, yeah, I think Boston Scott should have got more carries. I hope we bring, Boston Scott back. I hope he's with the team next year as well, because I like Boston. He's a back that can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's tough. He's small, so he can find some of those little holes. I think he's good in the screen game. So I definitely agree he should have got more carries. So, let's just get to the comments, man. Okay, so Sexton also agrees. I'm ready for Boston Scott next season. He's got a bright future. I agree, like I said. Thought we see big things from Slay today. Tom S. I agree with you, man. I'm not going to say I'm, disappointed with Slay today, but I am. He's been... Like I said, I thought he was the best cornerback pound for pound this year, and today he wasn't the best cornerback. He got beat a few times by Mike Evans. Mike Evans definitely won the matchup. I took a poll this past week, and I said, will Slay lock down Mike Evans? And 90%, close to 90% of the Bird Gang faithful said that he would. And we were wrong, guys. We were wrong. We were definitely wrong. I thought he was going to come out there and just put the shackles on him, But at the end of the day, that soft approach, they had him playing 10 to 15 yards back. They didn't put him in the best position. But regardless, I think big play is so good that he should have overcame some of those. But he got beat a few times, especially on that comeback route. That was a big play. Mike Evans beat him on. So, like I said, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. And Slay lost that matchup today, but that doesn't change the fact that he was a great cornerback all year, and we wouldn't even be in this game if we didn't have that man. So I'm not going to say nothing bad about him. He had a great season, and he's going to be back next year, and I think we're going to draft a cornerback possibly in the first round to pair him with, and hopefully it's Sauce Gardner. Someone like that, we got, like I said, we got those 3 picks. I would like to use one on Calvin Ridley if it comes to that, because I want a guaranteed proven player at least at one of those 3 picks. And it's not like we got a top 5 pick. Those guys are usually locks to be ballers, top 10 pick. We don't got that. We're at 15, 16. And I think now that we lost in the first round, I think we're going to be 21st pick or 22nd, something like that. So we're going to have a lot of mid-round picks. And I would rather use one on a guaranteed guy like Ridley. So let's get back to the chat. Oh yeah, guys, the 49ers are beating the Cowboys 10-0. Well, that makes me feel just a little bit better. I did say that the Cowboys were going to take an L this week. I thought they were frauds kind of all year, and looking back at last week, the 49ers look tough. They look like a team that I thought we could look like. Man, they played last week, and I guess they're playing like that today as well. A tough run the ball, get it to our playmakers, Debo and company, and just move the ball downfield methodically. Hit occasional pass, deeper pass. And they're who we thought we would be this week, in my opinion. Hard-nosed football. They went down 17 last week too. They went down 17 points, and look what they did. Look what they did. They made the playoffs by coming back, by fighting and clawing and not giving up. And, that's obviously the difference in coaching staff as well. Kyle Shanahan, he's obviously, experienced. He's never won the big game or anything like that, but he's been in those games. And, he came through last week when they needed him most. And that's what we needed from Nick Sirianni. But like I said, I'm not giving up on Nick Sirianni. He's a rookie head coach, and you got to give him time to grow, just like, his whole roots thing. You got to give him time to blossom as a head coach. And I thought he did pretty good this year to even have to put us in the position. So I'm not down on Nick, but let's be honest, he showed some of his inexperience this week. Tom S. says, after the terrible first half, I was just hoping they'd sit Hurts and Minshew would step in. Maybe it would have turned it around, or worst case, we still have lost. Okay. Let's address this. Let's address I guess it would be the elephant in the room. So some people, a lot of Eagles fans, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say I'm right. I'm just going to say a lot of Eagles fans, after Jalen, came out, missing receivers, you pretty much know sometimes if Jalen's gonna ball out. Those first couple possessions we get, he's gonna, he's set the tone, and he's gonna be active. He's gonna hit guys. He's gonna make things happen on third down and whatnot. After we seen he wasn't doing that, I started to get some in the live chat during the game. I got some Minshew love, like, hey, let's throw Minshew out there, especially after we went down 17 points. A lot of people were asking for Minshew, but at the end of the day, we can't do that to Jalen. Jalen played 15 games this year. I would say he looked really good in half of those, and the other half he didn't. But that's partially to say why we didn't win some of those games, why we went 9-8 instead of 10, 10-6 or whatever. However, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't win as many games as we could have because of Jalen, and I will acknowledge that. But at the same time, he did what he had to do to get us into the playoffs, guys. He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to think about it. He's 23 years old. When Wentz was our quarterback, I think he was 24 years old during his first snap as an Eagle. So we gave him time to grow. We gave him, all of his crazy wild throws, and he never worked those out. Wentz just regressed. So we have to give Jalen Hurts, who proved in his first year as a starting quarterback that he can get us into the playoffs, and that in itself is a victory. Yes, did we want this win today? Yeah, of course we did. We all wanted the Eagles to win this game and for us to move on and beat the GOAT, and it just would have been, beers for everybody, celebration, but we just weren't ready, guys. And like I said, the theme of this post game is we're a year away, and that's gonna be my theme going into this year. We're a year away, so this time next year, mark my words, everybody in the group chat, we will win a playoff game next year. We will grow. We will add players to this team, and we'll get better. Just like this podcast, just like this Eagles Real Talk YouTube channel has gotten better through the year. That's the same thing as this Bird Gang is going to do. We're going to get better. So I just want to let you guys know, don't give up on Hurts yet. I know Minshew sometimes is an attractive quarterback to throw out there because he's somewhat elusive. He's somewhat a little bit more maybe accurate than Hurts. You know, he can make plays happen. He's got the swag. He's got the mustache. He's got all the fun stuff. He's a fun guy. But at the end of the day, I think Jalen Hurts still gives this team the best opportunity to win. Maybe not today, but you have to let these guys, and Jalen the most, take his lumps. You have to let him do that. He's got a long career ahead of him, and I think he's gonna, go back to the drawing board. And obviously, he missed the rent today. The rent is gonna be late, but just because it's late don't mean it get there. Doesn't mean it doesn't get there. He's not gonna get evicted because he missed the rent one day, guys. So we have to give him the off season. This is his full off season as it'll be his second off season, but after a full year, so he can go back just like I'm gonna do and dissect his game like I'm playing Operation. I'm going to dissect his game and go through every single play, every single throw, every single decision. I'm going to go through all that. And I know he's going to do that 10 times more. 10 times more because he wants to be great. He's got that in him. He's got the heart. He's got the heart of a champion. So we just have to continue to let him grow. And like I said, I know it's frustrating sometimes. He's damn near a rookie quarterback. We have to remember that. It's his first starting year. Last year he played 4 games. 3.5 games. You know what I'm saying? We have to give him some time. So, yeah, that's just how I feel, Tom, and everybody else who's watching. That's just how I feel. We have to give him a little bit more time. Rager better not have a Philly jersey on next season. I think we can all agree on this. I think, even Rager's homies got to be like, bruh, are you serious? Muffin punts now too? Now you can't even catch those, dog? In his group chat right now, they better be clowning him. I'm sorry, Rager. You just not the one, man. We tried to believe in you, especially me. Before this season, if you go back to my first videos, the beginning of July and August, you will know that I believed in this kid. I wanted him to be great. I maybe not even great. I just wanted him to have a better year than last year. I was wrong. Even though sometimes you want something, doesn't mean you're going to get it. And, we just didn't get it with Rager. He went to TCU. I don't really like wide receivers not drafted out of the SEC. We have to start looking at guys just like how we finally drafted some Alabama players. We have to look at Alabama's wide receivers. We have to look at Georgia's, obviously. We have to, and especially on defense. We have to look at these big name schools, LSU, Ohio State. These are the schools that are breeding champions. These are the schools that are breeding all pros and Pro Bowl players and players that you can rely on and that you can build around. It's not with these small schools. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's exceptions. Of course, there's an exception to everything out there. But as far as I'm concerned, these small school guys, Howie needs to stay the hell away from them completely. I'm not into the projects and he's got potential and he ran a 4 whatever and he's this and he's got great hands or he's got great 50-50 ball catching ability. I don't give a damn anymore. Just go out there and find the guys who are proven, who play against top-notch NFL prospects themselves. Stop it with these smaller schools, and that's no disrespect to guys who go to smaller schools. Obviously, Terrell Owens went to a small school, and he's one of the best wide receivers of all time. And AB went to some of these guys went to small schools, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as far as I'm concerned, if I'm a GM, I'm not going to try to outsmart everybody and go for these. I'm going to go with proven guys, and Howie needs to do that. He needs to stop playing around with these small school guys. It's just these projects aren't worth it. We don't have time for that. It's time to win. It's time to win now. And if we're going to go with Jalen Hurts, he's on a friendly rookie second-round contract. And the window will close in very fast, and we'll have to make the decision to draft his replacement, to trade for his replacement, to sign his replacement, or to keep going with him. That's coming really soon. But as of right now, he's got a small little contract, and we need to try to win around him. And we can't do that if we keep drafting these projects like Jalen freaking Rager, man. It can't happen no more. So that's how I stand on that. I'm not changing my opinion. Hopefully, we trade Rager for Devontae Adams. That's funny. Won't happen, but I can dream. Yep, we all can dream about it. Would it be crazy? Yes. But just to entertain that, let's dream. Let us dream now. Let's send some prayers up to the football gods and see, what happens. But obviously, I think it's more likely that we trade Reagor for a player like Calvin Ridley, or, obviously not straight up. Those players are not going to ever be straight up trades, but throw them in a package so we can get rid of Rager's ass and we can bring in a guy. That's what we got to do. We have to do anything in our power to get rid of Rager. And I'm serious, a 7th round pick in 2048 I'll take at this point. Anything to get him off this roster. I'll do anything. Please. As Bird Gangs, we need to pray on this every day collectively that this guy is not rocking midnight green next year. By the way, number 18 looks terrible on him. I've been wanting to say that for a minute. He chose Macklin's number, and it's like, bruh, like choose another number, especially after your first year and the fans were dogging you and you were doubted and all this. Then change your number, man. This was a year where guys are rocking number 6 and all these fun numbers that they wore in college and this and that. Change your number, man. Like you just came in with that stank from last year. Anyways, I'm not even Rager. Obviously, I'm not happy with Rager, and it's definitely all of us are collectively pissed off about it. So it's gonna be hard to be positive with anything around that guy. Definitely not giving up on him, but in a game when we were down already and already saw it getting worse and needed the win, wouldn't have hurt to give him a shot. Okay, I hear you. On that as far as, and he's that question was referring, or that answer was referring to Minshew coming in for Hurts. But, sometimes it doesn't hurt. And, the truth hurts. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to do stuff like that. But like I said before, this guy was one of the main reasons that we were in the playoffs and we were in the position. He did make a lot of plays. He made plays, speaking of Rager again, like the Giants game where he played bad and then he made up for it at the end and he threw 2 great passes that should have went for touchdowns. And unfortunately for him, guys can't freaking catch the ball. So, we lose. So you just have to look back at all of it and kind of, assess where he exactly was. And I thought he still deserved to finish this game. And like I said, but if they would have did it, it would have been crazy. Obviously, Twitter and, Eagles fans would have been it would have been a very divisive thing to do. But, it didn't happen and Jalen finished the game. So it is what it is. Do you really think anyone's going to want Rager even in a package? No, I don't. I really don't. I don't think anyone in the NFL is like, yeah, give us Rager for whatever. No, but Howie's a sneaky SOB, and I think he can somehow sneak him in a trade. But at the same time, Howie is also a prideful SOB, and he is the main decision maker when it came to drafting Rager. So, will he give up on him? Will he prove to Eagles fans that, okay, you can, get rid of guys that you drafted. You won't make these guys, a point of emphasis to stay on the team and, tell the coaching staff, let's get these guys involved. And, when they shouldn't be in the game, Rager shouldn't even been in this game, in my opinion. Greg Ward should have been starting for him. Especially the back half of the season. Even though Greg Ward isn't like some electric player or anything, right? He's not going to blow your socks off. He's still a tough, gritty, veteran wide receiver who could at least go out there, get a few, clutch catches on 3rd down. You've seen what he can do in the end zone from time to time to get open. And, Rager has not shown that. He hasn't shown 1 ounce of that. So, I definitely see it very hard to trade Rager, to go back to your question, and include him in a package, but anything is possible in the NFL. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we can get rid of him for anything. No one's going for Rager, to be honest. No one want him. Like I said, Ward would have been better than Rager by a long shot. Yeah, he definitely would have. Unfortunately, he didn't get the opportunity too early on, and then I think he went down with an injury. I think it was a back, so he didn't return to the game. It was just poor decision making by the coaching staff this year with Rager. I think that's very clear to say at this point. Rager, like I said, I don't even think he had over 400 yards this year, and he had all the snaps to do it. So it's unfortunate. And if those balls were in the direction going to any other wide receiver, not named JJ JJ White, Arcega Whiteside, not named him or Rager, I think we would have had more success this year, 100%. But, they stuck with him all year. And unfortunately, it cost us today, especially in the special teams aspect of the game where he never, ever should be. He's like I said, as far as all my years watching football, I've never seen a guy with such lackluster and just non-ability to move the ball on a kick return, man. It's like I can't believe how bad he is, how slow he is. They said he's like a 4.3 guy or something like that. He looks like damn near 5 seconds out there to run a 40. He's slow, so he ain't got the juice, he ain't got the boost to be back there, and the coaching staff should have recognized that earlier. And it's unfortunate that it went this long in the season, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, guys, they want to stick with these guys who have been on the team instead of, making, different decisions, especially in bigger games. But they decided to roll with their guy, and I think pride took over when they were like, you know what? We've played him all year. We've kept him back there all year. He's going to make a play for us. Let's believe in him, guys. No. Sometimes you gotta just say, hey, it is what it is. He's just not the guy back there. He cost us today, guys. So let's talk about the Bucs defense. So the Bucs defense, I thought Todd Bowles had a pretty solid game plan. Obviously, he took away the run completely to start the game, and we couldn't really recover from that. It was like, damn, it's like a brick wall in front of us, and we have to try to get through it and no. We should have just said, you know what? They're stacking the box. After that first drive, they're stacking the box. That's going to be their game plan. We have to get Jalen Hurts very acclimated to this game early, get him some easy throws, and instead, we didn't do that. And when I say easy throws, who do you think I'm referring to when I say get him an easy throw? Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith. On those curl routes, those comeback routes, he can't be stopped. He's so elite with his route running, and we didn't even target him. So, and then the other player, Dallas Goedert, we didn't start targeting him until the second, third quarter, and it was like, where was he the first quarter? Why aren't we going to our main guys? So, that was obviously an issue today. The refs today didn't help either, Tom. Yeah, I addressed that earlier, but we had to expect that going into a game against Tom Brady at home, coming off a Super Bowl, man. It is what it is. It really sucks that the refs definitely have a bias, especially for Tom Brady and, certain teams, it seems like. But that's something, we already knew. Would you agree that going into this game, the refs were a little bit on your mind where you're like, man, I think the refs may try to, do us in if they get the opportunity. And they did on a few plays, a few back-breaking runs that we had and catches like that Dallas Goedert one where we got the hole. I mean, it was just penalty after penalty. We regressed and we went back to, some of the things that got us in trouble earlier in the season. Quez Watkins, he had the pass the PI when on that pass to Devontae Smith that cost us. It was just a lot of plays that both the refs were a little bit happy trigger with the whistle, and then there's also plays where we actually did drop the ball and we made mistakes. So it was kind of both, but I definitely agree the refs played a part today, and it sucks. It would have been nice to see a fair, 100% fair game, but life ain't fair, and football is definitely not fair. The not fair league, as I like to call it. And today they were not fair to the Birds. So it is what it is. John Doe says trade hurts. That's interesting. Trade hurts. So you're saying trade hurts for someone like Russell Wilson, who possibly wants out of the Seahawks, who could come in and step right in. He does the things that Jalen Hurts aspires to do as far as, being very accurate. Yeah, we could swap those guys. I could see them wanting possibly, Jalen Hurts in a trade. We would have to give up, obviously, a couple first-round picks and Jalen. It would probably take a lot. But, for someone like Russell Wilson, who some people don't know, Chip Kelly, I believe, was going to draft him. We were going to draft him at some point, but he got snagged up right before we got him. So he could have been a Birds. After every interview I've ever heard him say, he says, "Go Hawks." I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times from this guy. And it's just like, man, I feel like he wants to say, "Go Birds." You know what I mean? So I don't know. He's a really exciting player. He's a top quarterback. This year, obviously, he had more of a down year, but he had a broken hand, and the Seahawks just aren't that. They were just kind of a mess this year. They just didn't have their shit together. So who knows? But a player like that, I'm not going to be mad at it, obviously. I'm not going to, turn my back and be like, oh, well, why did we make that trade? We'll bring it in a possible Hall of Fame quarterback. So, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So, with that said, no, I wouldn't be mad at that if it was for a player like that. But we'll see, we'll definitely see. Some people are thinking that Aaron Rodgers is for some reason going to want out of Green Bay. Why would you want out of Green Bay? With all of the drama and stuff with their organization as far as his beef with the front office and them not giving him his bread or whatever that he wants, let's be honest. He's had a great career in Green Bay. You know what I mean? He has the best wide receiver in the league, Devontae Adams, to throw to. And it would be completely dumb for him to leave Green Bay. He's dominant at Green Bay. When you have to go to Green Bay, it's a tough challenge. It's going to be cold as hell. And, he thrives in the cold. So I don't see why he would want to leave. Especially with all the success him and LaFleur have had, even though they've butted heads or whatever, you can't deny the success. You know what I mean? Shaq and Kobe beefed a lot, but they won 3 championships together. So that just happens in sports. I've been on plenty of sports teams throughout my life where there was a guy on the team that I had beef with, and he didn't like me for whatever reason, but we played good on the court or on the field together. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I think is a deal breaker for him in Green Bay. I think he's going to return. He's just a guy who loves attention. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers is an attention guy. He's very controversial at times. He says a lot of things that other quarterbacks wouldn't say. Do I respect that? Yeah, I actually do respect a guy who, goes out there and, speaks his mind. But at the same time, he's not gonna make a dumb decision or a quick decision to move to another team when he's in a good position already. I just don't see that happening. But with that said, this is all up to chance. So I'll say if the Eagles were to trade him, trade Jalen Hurts and make something happen and whatever, sign in, whatever happened, if he joined the team next year, Aaron Rodgers, we're a very good team. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Him throwing to Devontae and us getting another wide receiver like Calvin Ridley, man, it could be scary hours for the rest of the league. So I'm not gonna sit back here and be like, oh yeah, let's keep him over this guy. No, no. I as much as I love Jalen Hurts, and I think he can be a solid quarterback for us. If we have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, I mean, pull the trigger, man. Let's like don't. That's not even a hesitation. So, with that said, y'all, I appreciate y'all joining me today. Man, I really wanted to come in here and have a celebration conversation with you guys and go over the win and what to expect next week and all of this. But that's the way it goes sometimes. And this year was already a win in itself. I think we can all sit back and be like, okay, this was a lot better than last season. I had a whole lot of fun watching this team compared to last year. Last year was miserable, let's be honest. And I love watching the Eagles football team play. I love watching them play, man. I have so much joy watching the Birds on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, and the occasional freaking Tuesday. And the occasional Tuesday. But last year was not fun. I did not have fun watching them. So I can definitely say, with that said, this year was hella fun, man. Like I said, I started this podcast. I started this YouTube channel because I'm very passionate, obviously, about the Birds. And, I had a lot of fun this year. It was a roller coaster ride. I think, it's fun when it's like that. It's better to have a roller coaster and go to a theme park than sometimes sit down and just watch the wind pass you by. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I felt like last year. We had like no chance. So this year, every weekend we had a chance. Every Sunday we had a chance, and that's all you can ask for, man. We love the Birds, and that's not gonna change. So with that said, we have a lot to talk about this offseason. The offseason is now here. I'm going to be doing a lot of draft coverage. I'm going to start going over prospects this week, probably. Definitely going to do some more reflecting on this year, break down some game film, and, look where we can improve, look at our weaknesses, and, but it's definitely looking up for us still. We can't keep our heads down and be, unappreciative to this year and the fun that we had this year. So with that said, Bird Gang, I am Bry Wolf. This is Eagles Real Talk. And if you're still watching and you tuned in and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Definitely share Eagles Real Talk with your friends, man. Get in your group chat. Share us on social media. Get the word out for Eagles Real Talk. We're sitting at 950 something subscribers right now. My first goal was 1,000. We're almost there. And, this, like I said, this has been really fun for me. I can't wait to continue these conversations with you guys in the future and to continue to grow this channel. And I hope you get down with me and stay with me because I'm in it for the long haul. And yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. So with that said, as always, even after a loss, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and it's go Birds, baby. We'll be back next year. I promise you that. We're going to come up a lot. We're going to go a little farther next year. Just keep that in mind. Things take time. And I believe we're 1 year away. So with that said, fly Eagles fly, baby, and keep it real always. And yeah, let's definitely stay hopeful, y'all. I'm Bry Wolf.